that were used as primary trainers in World War II. There was only a one-way means of communication from the instructor in the back seat to the pilot in the front. You know, the stethoscope, you stick it in your ears, right? And it'll pick up your heartbeat. Well, in the leather helmets of
So join us again on social media, Columbus Airshow. You can find us on Instagram as well as Facebook. We appreciate
as the Tuskegee Airmen's aircraft, known as By Request, approaches. Young black men were finally enabled to apply enough pressure so that the War Department set up a program in Tuskegee, Alabama to prove that black men could not fly. But guess what? They could. They did. And the Tuskegee Airmen, America's first black airmen and maintenance personnel, took to the skies over Europe, flying at that time aircraft very much like this one. This is a rare P-51C model Mustang. They call it a Razorback. But they had the red tail. And initially, as they were assigned to escort the bombers, the black airmen of the Tuskegee Airmen, the black pilots, were shunned by the bomber pilots. But over time, the bomber crews realized that the Tuskegee Airmen were committed to staying and protecting the Mustangs airframe was so good, and the wing was so good, and the combination of the Packard-built Merlin engine was so good that in 1943, later to become president, and then Senator Harry Truman, said from the War Investigating Committee that year that the Mustang was the most aerodynamically perfect pursuit plane in existence. And the top speed of over 400 miles per hour. Later versions of the Mustang had 6 50 caliber machine guns mounted in the wings. This C model has 2 on each side, a total of 4 50 caliber machine guns. But lessons learned aerodynamically from this airplane were applied some 30 years later in the development of the United States Air Force's F-16 Fighting Falcon. 5/8 of a loop, the stick gets thrown over to the left with 2 points of a 4-point hesitation roll. Doug Rosendahl, the pilot, he is one of the best-known warbird pilots on the planet, having also been involved in flying a C-47 World War II transport plane from the United States to France, to Normandy, France, for the 75th anniversary of the D-Day landing. Examples of this flying, of this and any other airplane they can that fought for America. Watch the 8-point hesitation roll. Now, the cockpit and say hello to Doug Rosendahl in just a moment. Dougie, whenever you're ready, we've got you, and we'd love to have you say hello to the crowd here in Columbus.
Well, I'm ready. Welcome to Columbus. My name is Doug Rosendahl on behalf of the Commemorative Air Force. I'd like to say what a thrill it is to be here. We're going to give you a nice, close look at what's up.
So let's listen to the sound of the Merlin.
So there's the battlefield here.
My next pass will be a photo pass, and I'd like to dedicate this pass to all the Tuskegee Airmen and all who served in World War II. You know, sadly, our veterans are leaving us at an alarming rate, and never in our history has there been a time when their lessons.
I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you'll give a nice...
As the horsemen. And their coach and mentor, Ed Shipley, brought them back to life. And he stated, "You are no horsemen, you are no stallion, but you gentlemen are the best jack." So they took it with a twist and said, "We are the best Jack Aces." Ladies and gentlemen, Lou Herschel, Ariel Moody, and the Jack Aces. Now, believe it or not, you have already seen one of these pilots, Lou Herschel, lead number 1. Also flew the Legacy in the Corsair. From Western New York, he's been flying ever since he was born. Our friends in formation, the Jack Aces. Met in 2015 at Stallion 51. They began training and working together in the formation demonstration that we have the privilege of seeing today. In Ariel, plane number 1, red and yellow, cockpit P-51 Mustang, built in 1945. It was converted to a Cavalier Mustang in 1968 and was delivered to the Air Force in 1969. Originally built as a D model, it was transferred in 1950 to the RCAF Squadron 420 in London, Ontario. last plane that just flew past, was awarded the post-World War II Grand Champion at Sun and Fun in 2003. In 2008, Mr. James Goodwin purchased the aircraft until selling it in 2013 to Aria Flutie. The airplane is kept at Stallion 51, where it is operated and maintained. For the purpose of training pilots to go into the P-51 two-seater the music you hear from James Horner, written for the Horsemen, where it all began. The three-ship P-51 formation team now starting to grow and develop with our two-ship formation team. The mentorship, the coaching, the precision flying. All started with Ed Shipley. Let's listen in.
Stuck like glue, and he doesn't know where the ground ends and the sky begins, does he?
He doesn't. It's blind trust, the opportunity to ensure that your lead, your number one, is talking and guiding you through each of the maneuvers. Now this will be your last opportunity, so please have your cameras ready.
A semi-wheeled vehicle with tracks that enable it to go places that normal wheeled vehicles could not. Away from its compatriots. He is heading out in front of several other German weapons, anti-tank weapons. And way back, a large, major German tank. It's a German Hetzer tank. But now, as we see the half-track, the reason it is exposing itself is to potentially lure American armor into a fight and to be possibly destroyed by the anti-tank weapons and the German Hetzer tank. As it gets into the no man's land, as the half-track turns tail, the gunner starts shooting at it. Back and forth goes the half-track, dodging whatever it can. track is out of the way, and soon this scout car is going to be left vulnerable to the firing of the anti-tank artillery. The scout car taking fire. It looks like they've disabled the scout car, but the firing will continue.
That's a bomber, yeah. Yeah, it's a bomber. I dropped bombs. Back in the day, I dropped bombs. Yeah, it did.
Smoking.
It's not gonna drop bombs.
I don't think it's probably
Totally disabled now, the scout car, and the two men manning that scout car
Check over here. What's that? What's that?
are doing their best to hide themselves from the firing that's going on toward it.
Yeah, it would. It would. Alright, you going back to that? The tank? It's a tank right there, man. Where's the second one?
Seeing the smoke, American armor is on the move. Sherman tanks. The one that's moving first in line, 76 millimeter cannon. That's like the size of a 2-liter bottle of Coke, or Pepsi, I should say, of Pepsi. Firing those shells, thousands of yards, with a top speed of somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 miles per hour. It's built by Ford and has 2 Ford V8 engines in it. Inboard, a lighter version of the same kind of tank. Head-to-head with a Hetzer tank from the Germans. Mustangs have been called in for air support to try to knock out that very potent Hetzer German tank and the anti-tank guns that remain behind. have the thickest armor. And should a shell penetrate the armor of one of these tanks, very likely it could cause an explosion of all the munitions that are located inside the belly of the tank, ready to be fired. It could incinerate the crew in a matter of a fraction of a second. The men who operated these tanks and all the men who gave their lives defending our freedom are what many survivors consider to be of the war. Members of the greatest generation. Now, if you'd like to get your cameras ready, the three Mustangs are going to do a salute to you, Columbus, coming from high and to the left. You might want to hold your phone sideways to more easily track them. But as they do, watch for the special salute to all of you here at Columbus today. The wing wag salute for number 1, Louis Horschel. Wing wag. Number 2 inbound. Doug Rosendahl, by request. From the right are the Mustang.
Cameras ready as Ariel Looney comes back. And right behind Doug Rosendahl, Rosie. In our red tail, the P-51. But I was jumping, scared. But to see
real vehicles in World War II preserved, restored, and still functioning.
Cover the P-51s. We have more to come. In just a few moments, we're going to welcome back to the Columbus Airshow Bill Brett, Smokin' Thunder jet car, as he takes on another race. That of which is Skip Stewart in the S2S biplane. That is a souped-up hot rod.
Indeed, it started life at one point as an S2S, but if you think about the history of the airplanes that we've been seeing today, like the Mustangs, even some of the airplanes that are being flown by civilian performers, particularly the one that's going to be coming up here shortly, Skip Stewart. His airplane started life as a Pitts. Now, how did he get the name Pitts? From a guy named Curtis Pitts, who wanted an airplane that he could fly himself, and he built this little biplane, stuck a 65 horsepower motor on it, and believe it or not, a lot of people got excited about it. And it became available as a kit. Sometimes it was manufactured in a factory, but the pilots started putting more powerful horsepower, more powerful engines on them, developing more agility, more speed, more oomph, if you will. Just more. It's the sin of more. But I'm sure that as he got into his senior years, he was very pleased to see that his mid-1940s, about 1946 creation had changed the world of aerobatics, because for years the biplane ruled aerobatic competition. There's Rosie.